We're going to move on to food safety tips, so I will have to listen to this segment. Proper food storage not only protects you from food poisoning, but it can also help your money go further since your food won't spoil as quickly. Now, who would have the best intel on looking after our pantry food staples? Mairlyn Smith, of course. Mairlyn, what do we need to keep in mind when it comes to food safety? I promise I'm going to be taking notes. Pantry food safety. What should we know?
Okay, there's three kind of general rules, okay?
Yes.
The right container, the right temperature, and the right time.
Okay.
Okay, so when it comes to containers, I really like glass, and those are mostly antiques because, you know, I'm old too, so why don't we just use the good old stuff?
Well, it's the stuff that's stood the test of time, so you know it works,
it
right?
Does work. You know, and I really like glass because you can see through it, and it's pretty too.
Yes,
and then
absolutely.
I keep like, so this is all of my, well, not all of my baking, but some of my baking.
It's chocolate, everybody. Why would she bring this here with me?
And I was trying to, let's say, am I your favorite?
Yes.
Because I brought chocolate.
Yes,
yeah, okay,
today
good.
you are.
I said that to Scott. I go, you know, today you're my favorite. Yesterday, not so much.
Right.
Yeah, he's my husband.
Today
anyway,
you're winning,
okay.
baby.
So, but I keep likes alike, but I also keep them all covered up too. So that's kind of a tip there. And then when it comes to temperature, you really want to be careful where you put your pantry.
Yes.
So it can't be anywhere near a heat source, like, you know, a fridge, a stove, a dishwasher.
Okay, I'm okay.
Okay, you're good for that.
Yeah.
And nothing anywhere near any of your cleaning supplies. Okay.
That would be awful. Why is that a bad thing to have the cleaning supplies anywhere? What if they're natural cleaning supplies?
Well, you know what?
They can't be near my can of tomatoes?
No, you know what? I think you'll just die. So don't do it, okay? That's a generalization, but no, it's not. It's really not a good idea. Just don't do it, okay?
Okay.
There's also dampness underneath your sink where your cleaning stuff is, and you don't want anything rusting. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, for sure.
So cool, dark place. All right.
Yeah.
So my pantry in my old house was in the basement. It was wonderful. Exercise down to the pantry.
Yes.
Now I don't. My basement's full, so there's no room there.
Yeah.
But I have a pantry on the far wall of my kitchen.
Okay.
So it's away from all the heating elements. So after this segment, I'm hoping everybody's going to go move their pantry to a better place. Okay. All right.
Got it.
All right. Now timing. All right. So we're going to talk about when you bring your cans home. So check the actual date on it. All right.
Okay.
And they're not suggestions.
Are you sure about that,
I'm positive.
Mayor?
Okay. So like this one says 2023, and then the one that I just brought home says 2025. Okay, so I'm going to put that at the back of the pantry. So this is the front of the pantry, all right?
Okay.
And so do that every time, and then that way, you know, you're not going to have an exploding can that, oh, look, it was 2020, you know, it was 2002 or something.
Right,
So that's not going to happen. So rotating your stock. Okay?
That's right.
All
Rotate them, the new at the front, just like you do in the fridge, right?
Exactly.
Put the leftovers at the front and, you know, the newer stuff near the back.
Good for you. You listen to that.
Yes, well, I listen to Mairlyn Smith.
So happy. Okay, now your oil should go in the very back of the pantry, where it's the coolest and the darkest. All right, because they're photosensitive, especially if it's in a clear. So that's just gonna. This is unopened. So this is the unopened ones, right? And
okay, and by the way, let's mention, once these cans are open, they don't go back in the pantry.
Dear Lord, no! I will come to your house and, I will come with a hazmat suit. Yeah, okay, so, all right, now, just as a home economist.
Yes.
That's so scary. As a home economist tip, when you're storing your nut butters, always upside down. These are the natural ones. So then when you turn it right side up to stir it, it's easier, okay?
Perfect.
That's just easy. Okay, so.
What about if we're dealing, like we're trying to keep the bugs and whatever out? Like once I went to go pour my daughter some corn pops and an ant came out with the corn pops.
Right.
So what, is right. She won't eat corn pops anymore. So what should we be doing to make sure those little insects and what have you don't get in?
Okay, so tight-fitting lids, and then once again, glass or plastic, as long as a tight-fitting lid. And just as a little tip, this is my whole wheat flour. If you're getting anything at the bulk store and it comes home in a plastic bag, this is dollars to donuts. It's going to explode. Like something's going to crack, it's going to rip, whatever.
Yeah.
So you're going to dump that immediately into a larger container. I use this as a canning funnel. And it's just going to be less of a mess, okay, as I spill it all over the place. All right, so just everybody think the best for that. But say, Tracy, so what would happen? What do you think if you got like a can that's dented or bulging or exploded? What would you do? Do you know?
Well, I got to clean it.
You do.
You got to clean it immediately. So I've had this situation, the potatoes and the onions, they don't fare very well in our pantry because I always forget about them.
Right.
And then when I finally find the potatoes, they're a full face.
And they're disgusting, and they smell,
gross, and they smell.
and they stink.
Yes.
Isn't it extraordinary what a potato rotting smells like?
You would not believe it. It's like a small dead animal.
It
like
is
it was
disgusting.
just a potato.
But it's horrible.
It's awful. So you got to clean. You got to take it all out and clean it all out.
You do. But if you're, I'm going to talk about cans before we get to potatoes. So if it's bulging, don't even open it.
Okay.
If it's got a dent in it, I really don't buy dented tins because it's actually the integrity of the seal is bad.
All right.
But if it did explode, you're going to have to put a mask on.
Oh, really?
You're going to have to put gloves on.
How am I alive?
Well, I don't know.
I've cleaned out my pantry so many times. No mask, no gloves, no nothing. Just a little bit of elbow grease.
I'm telling you, you are a medical anomaly.
I'm a miracle.
You are.
Yes.
We've talked about this endless amounts of times because I cannot. If I had done that, I'd be dead. Like it's like, mom, Mairlyn's in emergency. Anyway, so the can exploded or whatever.
Yeah.
You got all this stuff on. Put it in 2 bags, 2 plastic bags. I recycle my bags. Wrap it up tightly.
Yeah.
Take everything out. Clean it with a disinfectant, and then let it all air out. Because if you put it in wet, it's the reason they don't go in underneath. You don't want damp.
Yes. Okay. All right. And also the cleaning products you use to clean it out, they sure weren't in the pantry. Right?
Right. Okay.
I'm learning.
Are we going with that?
Yes, that's what we're going with.
Okay, good.
Anything else, or have we covered all the tips?
No, one more. How often do you clean your pantry?
Well, every time there's a potato explosion. So there's more than I would like to.
Okay, well, it's supposed to be every 2 months.
Every 2 months?
Unless something blows up.
That's unreasonable.
No,
I mean,
it is
sure.
not.
Thank you for that tip. Amazing tips, as always. Thanks, Mairlyn. Time for a break, but we've got a lot more coming up for you on our Pantry special.